So that was
Mm-hmm.
the quote which I have put. So here, like at that time and space I was talking, this is the feeling which comes to me. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
a instantaneous thing which came to me and I wrote it down. It's kind of a mental ongoing diarrhea, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
which I have wrote it down. It essentially was a mental diarrhea. Mental diarrhea. It was a mental diarrhea for me because I have been overburdened by myself, by my thoughts. So somehow I have to take out. Somehow I need to flush down that diarrhea. So I was writing those things and flushing it down.
Mm-hmm.
So now coming to the quote itself, the quote says, now the quote that I have written, it says, I think you want to discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
So now
It
I have
says,
witnessed the trap of cause and effect. I can't escape it. At least I'm trying to be the effect, not cause.
I can't escape it. At least I'm trying to be the effect, not the cause. And I'm wondering what is the idea of not being the cause?
Okay. Okay, so do you understand what I mean by now I have witnessed the trap of cause and effect?
The first part I understand. The
Like,
cause and effect is always pushing the life, and it's like a trap
yes, essentially it's
because
like
each
a trap.
situation pushes you to the next one.
So, like for this real-time example, you told me that you read my quote, and it was a little not understandable for you. So you asked me to elaborate it on my terms, effect being effect, not the cause. So
Exactly.
that is the cause, and the effect is I am explaining to you.
Responding.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is I witnessed it. This is not genuinely I am doing. I have been forced to do it, and I if I am forced to do it, I can withdraw myself and be silent. That will be that will be injustice to the party who is listening to me because I have invited them. Again, this is the cause, and
Mm-hmm.
and now I have invited them and I'm not speaking. So that's why I say I can't escape it because many times I don't know who caused this thing, but at least this time I know I caused this thing. So
Mm-hmm.
now I have to explain it. That's why I am trying not to be the action. I'm trying to be the reaction always. Not
Mm-hmm.
trying not to be the cause. I trying not to be the person who starts something new. Not trying to be the person who who send an impulse to another party and another party is now asking me things. So I am not making any door where people can come. I am just waiting behind a doorless room. So if somebody come, he cannot knock at least. So I am not
Mm-hmm.
putting anything new. So that is what I mean. I'm not want to be the cause. It means that I don't want to start something new. I don't want to trigger anything new because everything here is already been triggered. I don't Everything is here is in mass. I don't want to add mass into this thing. So
Mm-hmm.
now I don't want to be an actor. At least what I want to be now, at least whatever is going on as a consequence, I want tend to be the part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, now it's more clear
now let's say
because
if you, as you were reading the history book, you were knowing some certain events has occurred and those events has the consequences, which consequences in the term of political instability, consequences in the term of political uh, uh, how do political chaos. The Japanese were maybe Japanese and Americans both were killed just because somebody triggered that war. So
as
two
an
years,
effect.
3 years before that war, Japanese and Americans was not thinking about. I mean, American means the United States guys. They was not thinking about that one day they will be killed by something that they have not planned. or they were not actually consciously planning. It was planned by their government, and they were by no choice. They were the part of it. So somebody was taking decisions for them.
That's an example.
That's an example. Now the fact is, they were died.
Mm-hmm.
So at least what my being is, I am not bothered about getting died. I am not bothered about getting killed. But I don't want myself to be the reason to get killed.
Right.
So I want that to be natural. If that's come natural without no cause, then I accept it. If I'm smoking too much, I'm killing myself. You see, so the cause and the effect is that. So even without
Mm-hmm.
doing anything, if I'm getting killed or I'm dying, it's a good thing for me, because
Mm.
this is the thing which is coming naturally. I'm
Yes.
not forcing nature. Anyways, this body is perishable, so no matter I do or do not do, it will perish someday.
Correct.
So if I don't do anything, it will perish naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I will not catalyze the perishing reaction. So that is what I mean by effect. I mean by
Mm-hmm.
effect as being more natural, being less
Yes.
artificial. Now, on the terms of spirituality, these were all the terms on the level of physicality. Now, on the level of spirituality, what I mean by being an effect, not an cause. It's something like that. If you see a rose, you will see the red color. You will smell its fragrance. So many things. You will see the thorns, you will see the soil, you will see flies and other things. So there are two things. Either you can see the red color, or you can be it by in yourself the red color. So the journey of noun, first to the adjective, then to the abstract noun.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rose is a noun, Tal is a noun.
Yes.
Tal is a clever guy is an adjective. Clever. Now,
Exactly.
the journey you started from noun and you reached to an adjective, and then adjective to the abstract noun. Now, rather
The
than
abstract
being
noun.
rather than being clever Tal, you become clever in itself. The clever needs and qualifying noun decided to understand clever, what is clever. So that
Mm-hmm.
is the toughest job, to explain something when something is not there. Like, you understand knowledge, you know what knowledge is. You read the books, you get the knowledge.
Yes.
Reading is causing knowledge. I don't mind what kind of knowledge is, if it is right or wrong. There is something which is accumulating in you. So I want to bridge that gap of you and gathering. There is a gap between you. There was knowledge and there was you. You read a book, you and knowledge collapse. Now you gathered the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Now what I tend to do is, this is knowledge, this is me. I tend to be not to me, I tend to be this. A, a thing without noun, which is abstract. The gold is golden. Take out the gold out of picture. The thing which remains is golden. This is the effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not interested in knowing who caused it. I don't know. Maybe someday silver become golden. Maybe someday something become golden. You see, but the golden will always retain.
Yes.
You can say golden apple. You can say golden eye. You can say golden man. What is pertaining everywhere is the golden.
Right.
So
And
I
then
want to
instead of
be
being
that.
separate, you join it.
I want to be that thing which is not changing. If I put beside someone, then I automatically become like that. If I put beside a man, then become golden man. It means a man with a golden heart.
Correct.
If I put beside gold, I become a bright golden piece of some ornament. Now I become a piece of an ornament. So this journey is from that negligible level of physicality to some level of physicality. It's not supreme. I will also rule out this notion of fact in coming quotes. I will write it down. So now you understand what I am saying.
Yeah, now it's more clear.
So I don't want to be actor in my story. I want to be act itself in my story. Anybody can act, and anybody can
Yeah,
enact what I am saying.
where the you're naturally going.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because I see the universe is dancing.
Mm-hmm.
There are two things what I can do. I can participate in a dance and increase the entropy of that universe, like adding one more particle into this thing. What I can do, I can leave this body and the dance which is going there, I can become the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Not participating as an body, participating as an energy.
As an energy, and it is preferable in the energy form.
Yes. So this is what I meant by those that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we will go with the another sutra of Nisad.
Yes, we will analyze it and see what is the idea and respond to it and discuss it.
Yeah. We covered this thing.
Yes.
So we also covered this thing. If one should desire to live, we covered this in last lecture. Now here comes
Right.
after leaving their bodies, they who has
They kill their self, go to the worlds of the Asura, covered with blinding ignorance. And I know the word Asura is like the violent demons. Many of the stories were Rama and Krishna fighting the Asuras.
yes. So here they are seeing after leaving their bodies, they who have killed the self go to the worlds of asuras covered with blinding ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So there are two terms which has to be discovered here, discussed here is blinding
Mm-hmm.
ignorance
Yeah.
and other is kill the self.
Yes.
What
We need to clarify this idea.
what is self?
Mm-hmm. And it seems that going to the Asuras is something to avoid. So if killing the self leads to that, then it seems to be saying don't kill the self.
Okay. Here let's discuss what this sutra is about. So again,
Yes.
uh, good morning to everyone who has joined us today, or they are seeing it on offline on YouTube, our YouTube platform. Me, Avnesh Kumar, and with me, Tal has joined from Haifa, and we will
Exactly.
be discussing, or we are discussing here the third sutra of Upanishad, and that is After leaving their bodies, they who have killed the self go to the world of Asura, covered with the blind ignorance. So here in today's lecture, we will be touring about and doing the autopsy of this statement and trying to find out what the speaker is mean to say on the spiritual level or on the plane of ignorance, whatever. Oh my goodness, whatever you found uh, good to your level of understanding. So I will ask Tal, Task, the podium is up to you. Please read it for me and tell what do you take from this line.
Yes. After leaving their bodies, they who have killed the self go to the worlds of the asuras, covered with blinding ignorance. So, uh, the first part, after leaving the bodies, we understand that that a person can continue their life separate from the body. They're not relying on the body's life to stay alive. So the body can die and you can continue living separate from the body. And then it continues, they who have killed the self, which we need to define what is the self, they go to the world of asuras. That seems something violent and suffering. So it seems like we should avoid going to the asuras and they'll be covered with blinding ignorance. That's also something negative.
Okay, so
So let's analyze it. Yes.
what this statement is pointing towards?
It seems like the message is since it will be bad to kill whatever the self is, a person should not kill the self.
Okay, so if you remember our last session, there or last sutra, there they were saying the one who desired to live 100 years on this planet has to do the righteous deed.
Mm-hmm.
If they do the righteous
Said there
deeds,
were many flaws.
their
What is a
self
righteous deed? And
is not defiled, and they will be in the asylum of God. You see, so here they are kind of connecting that sutra to this sutra. If you do righteous deed, if you don't do righteous deed after leaving your body, they who have killed the self to the God, the world of Surat, the one who killed their self, killing their self means whatever naturally you are. I am quoting unquoting his words. This is not
yeah.
my thought. What the speaker trying to mean is kill the self, have killed the self. It means killing yourself or doing not a righteous deed. You killed the self of your kind, like killing other animal or killing anything which the speaker thinks is not right. Will lead you to the world of asuras. Asuras means demons, evil,
Mm-hmm.
and he thought the evil is covered with blinding ignorance. So there are two things which I want to discuss before understanding the gist or gravity of this statement. One is what he mean by self. So self, as I English word as I can take, it is talking about anyone, like any form of human, like any form of life, human, some other species of animal kingdom or any other kingdom. So what they do after they're leaving their body, after this the connection between soul and body is cut,
Separated.
soul will
Mm-hmm.
depart and the soul will depart to the destination, and the destination is decided by your deeds. If you have done the right deeds, you will go to the world of suras, which means deities, which means gods, sur and ashur. So there is an prefix called a or a.
Which is like opposite.
There are two sur and asur. So there is an prefix. You see it. So
Yes.
this prefix essentially means a here in the Hindi means the Anything like if you say normality and you say anormality.
Right, or
So
abnormality.
abnormality or let's say sorry abnormality or any
Also,
word which
the
so
word
here
moral appears, and then immoral is the
amoral,
opposite.
let's say that is a good example. So
Mm-hmm.
amoral and so you can see those two words moral and immoral uh, they are in the opposite ends. So what is not moral called is immoral. So you decide something as moral though in a set of many things. If something is not falling under the envelope of morality, then you will treat the rest of the things that are amoral, which is not
Mm-hmm.
moral. So A
Yes,
stand here for the notion of negation.
correct.
So here also A stand for notion of negation. So Sur means the good gods and Asur means the gods which are not good.
Mm-hmm.
So here essentially he's the guy is I don't know what he is thinking with Asuras. But as far as dissociation of word, what I can understand, dissociation of this word, Asur means those who are not source.
Right.
Sur here means like the gods. Asur means those who are not God.
Mm-hmm. They're outside of the category.
So I want to know from that guy who is deciding these are gods and who are deciding others are not gods.
That is the
As
question.
that is the question. As I know, if I have some personal enmity with someone and I am the majority, anyone who is opposed in the who is in the opposite of me, a rival to me, I will call them as an idiots. So there will be two classes of people. Myself, I will be calling intelligent, and the rest of the self, which are not of my kind, I will be calling them dumb or idiot. Do you think
Right.
it's a true definition or it's a very biased definition?
This is a bias. This is I want to influence them,
Yes, of
and I
course.
want.
So
I'm
who?
right. They're dumb for not agreeing.
Yeah, then who will ask that speaker? What is the agency who is giving the certification of these are the gods and these are the source and these are the source? I don't want to talk to the speaker. I want to talk to the agency. What are his parameters or her parameters which
Or
decides this is the line. If you are falling beneath this line, you are good. You are not falling beneath that, you are not good. Saying good and not good. There are two things. If I am good and saying other thing, remaining thing is not good. There are two possibilities. Either they are neutral, they don't fall in their umbrella of good or bad. Either they are bad. You see,
it's the opposite.
if
Yeah.
you know me, then you can say I'm a good guy or bad guy. The moment you don't know me, you are neutral towards me. You are discovering me. You cannot claim that I am good or bad. Even after you claim I am good to you because you have certain parameters in your mind. I I follow like I fit on those parameters. That's why you're claiming me as good. Let's say I don't do drugs. I don't do bad things. I don't see other people with jealousy. Then there are certain things. Then you think this is a good guy according to society. If I
Oh,
have
it's
anti things, then you say this is not a good guy. Essentially, the notion of good and bad is very subjective. So as it with the sur and a source. But here is saying a source is at least leaving the possibility that the guy has to discover. The guy is not totally blind. He is saying, I know this guy from my experience, this guy is good. But I don't know that guy, so but I can't claim this is good or bad. So I say, I don't know.
right.
It's a kind of a justice. So Asur, if you say Asur to an Hindu, he essentially will think those who are not source, he will directly jump to the conclusion that guy is talking about demons. Asur means demons. No, Asur means not demons. Asur essentially means not sure,
outside.
not good. Whatever remaining is can be bad or can discover how to be good or cannot can be anything other than good or bad.
Mhm.
You see, like when you go to United States, there are two things. I will take a real time example: the white and black.
Yes,
If you say white, there is white supremacy. If you say black, the people may take it as a racism. You see,
that's how they take it.
this is the definition. This is a very cruel uh, definition of identification to personalities. No, you are saying is good. You are saying is good or bad. The one who are good, they are okay. The one who are bad, they will feel depressed. They will feel suppressed. They will feel marginalized. You see,
That's how they feel.
because this is how the society see. Good is good. Bad is bad. No, bad means this is not okay with them. This is not
It,
okay for the society. So
it's very subjective based on the
it's
person,
res-
not me.
it's a very superficial racism in the term of good and bad. Identifying something as good, something as bad is a very superficial form of discrimination or racism. Same with
Exactly.
the white and black. Black, if you say someone as in black, he will feel insulted, he will feel attacked, and he may retaliate. So, but now when I talk about Indian Constitution doesn't say black, doesn't say white. It says non-white.
And that
There,
doesn't mean the opposite. It
there,
means
there is
anyone.
yeah. In Indian Constitution, there are only one thing. Even we don't have that kind of racism in India, like black
Good.
or white supremacy. But if something has to be assigned, like in some other African country, guys are coming, and the Indian rules has to be regulated on them. The Constitution do not identify them as black. It says non-white. It doesn't means black. Non-white means you can be yellow, you can be red, you can be green, you can be brown, whatsoever it is. Essentially, it's not white. So I'm
Yes.
saying you are not a good guy. Essentially, it doesn't mean you are a bad guy.
It's just a
But at least
description.
I know you are. So it's a positive way of saying negative thing.
Hmm. Yes.
So same here has been adopted. Saying a source means essentially positive way of saying negative thing. Those who are not source. And how do I know sources are good and sources are not good? So that's why we are discussing. That's why we are traveling our own path. That's why this thing is acting as a torch to discover. So we are kind of joining the puzzle and seeing if we are making a good picture or out of it, or we have to reorganize it. You see, so coming back to the statement itself, after leaving their bodies, those who have killed the self go to the world of asuras. What is the problem going the world of asuras? They might be better than source. Itself, the source don't know who are asuras.
That's the question.
I know my family. There comes a neighbor who started living with me beside us. We don't know them because they are new to us, so we can't claim them good or bad. They might be very much friendlier than our family members. What is the problem? Try and interact. You will learn yourself.
Hmm.
Don't jump rush to the conclusion and say those are the family members. They do not belong to our family, so they can't be good because we are good. Come on, you are not the only good in this world. Everything is good in this world. You just have to extend your experience, sphere of your experience, covered with
Yeah.
blinding ignorance. Now here is he saying asuras, and other is saying, and next time he's saying like covered with the blinding ignorance. So what is first thing I know ignorance? Ignorance itself means being blind or ignoring thing. What is the purpose of using this word double adjective blinding ignorance? Or it might makes like he might be very wise but using blinding ignorance means your eyes were little open but the ignorance was that much of magnitude it blinds you. So
That
let's
much
say
back.
the blinding ignorance in this world is money. You know money, too much of money is not good. But once you start earning it, the glitter of money make you blind, and you forget this thing. The money is bad. So this is the blind ignorance. He is saying in the Asura's word, you will find so much of luxury, so much of joy that you will be blind and you will not continue your path. So here, this statement essentially means even if you go to the world of Suras, your journey has to be still continued. You have not reached your destination. If you have reached to your destination, what is the problem? If you are blind or you are okay with your eyes, if something you are ignorant or you are observant, there is no problem.
If
But
they
if
arise.
you are in the middle of your journey, you will have to keep your eye open. So essentially, it means the world of Suras is not the final destination. There, if you go, you will be observant. You will not be blinded by the luxury over there. It means there are deficiency of everything in the heaven. On the other hand, if you go to the hell, there are so many things that you will be blinded.
Yes.
So this is the journey. There are so this is a very, I think, very good statement. Not what he is discussing, but what we is taking it as. It says once you leave the body, so one step is covered. One step is done. You leave the body, you continue your journey. Now you go to the middle of things. There you are not stopping because you have not reached your destination. If you reach to another middle wrong middle point in the demon's house, they have the so much of luxury, like the ladies, the wine, whatsoever these so-called books called. If you do the right deeds, you will go to heaven. There you have the luxuries that you have not found in this world. But this statement found to be contradictory to me. It's saying if you go to the asuras, they have those luxuries. You
Because we don't know.
No, those guys are claiming. I'm not saying. It's saying blinding ignorance. What can make you blind in ignorance? I have given you example of money. So much money make you ignorant, then hell lot of money make you blind and ignorant. You won't see anything other than money. Yeah,
And then it would be desirable and attractive.
desire for more, and it's a never ending desire. So you are blind. For a blind person, there is nothing near or nothing far. Everything is same for him or his. So this is
Right.
so like so what this statement in a good way sense like perishable, your body is perishable, you will leave this body, then we'll go to the another step. At that another step, it's not a destination, you will have to continue after it. But if somehow you have done the very good things, you will go to the God's house. They will show you the right path. Then you will continue your journey in the right direction. But if you do the wrong things here, then you will get the more luxury there in the hell, and you will not continue your journey. So everybody want luxury. I am enjoying smoking. I should have to cut this thing. Everybody want the luxury, and like me, I am enjoying this body. I want this body to retain for as long as possible. Once the body become hell for me, I will leave this body and go to the another place where I will enjoy much more with more sense perception. Here my body can perceive a certain amount of emotions. Maybe after death I can perceive a lot of things in this world. I am increasing my sphere of experience. What is the problem? So according to this statement, is really contradictory. They are not they are not pointing towards the right direction. This is the problem with the books. All of their ideas has been translation of ideas of someone else.
And then
They don't know what the hell they are talking about. Here you can see they are talking the contradictory things. Maybe when the writer was writing this thing, he might be very happy. What the beautiful thing I am writing. Nobody have done it. Come on, look at you. You itself, you are a blinded ignorant. You have written a city thing.
yes.
So
And
our idea is what is my idea at least. I don't believe in soul, not believe in body. I This is the temporary state of matter and space and time. This is a temporary state. For an example, I am taking this example with one Indian guru. His name was Ozo. Oso. He was saying Earth is a planet. There is a sun. A ray of light which have started thousands of millions of years ago is coming, is traveling into this in this universe. If that light interact with Earth, if that light pass through Earth, then Earth was there that time. That light will know that there was some particle there. But if when the light come to the Earth, Earth was not there. Earth somehow destroyed, and there will be an empty space. So the ray will pass without any interaction. So if somebody will ask the ray if you find something called Earth in your path, the ray say no, I did not find. So Earth itself is in temporary state. It may come and go, but if the life has interacted with that Earth, light say yes, there was something I called it Earth. If that was not present, then our light will say no, there was nothing. And both of guys will argue. Both of guys will argue. Come on, there is an Earth. There has been evidences. Light will say, I have passed through this thing. I don't need evidence. I am evidence in myself. I am also a piece of evidence. Why you are not believing me? So you see the argument. But the wiser person will think, look, both guys are correct. What is the time frame when they were observing? So the existence of any state or any matter itself is subjective to time.
Yes,
So
it's
the one
subjective.
who understands the notion of time itself, this quote, if it understands the notion of time, then he won't be talking about this bullshit. So if you want to know what I mean by notion about science, I have a video lecture recorded for 40 minutes on this notion of science, measures beyond physicality is already there on YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. You can go ahead. There are very short videos. Some are 10 minutes, and the notion of time because it comprises many things, so it is little longer. This is 30-40 minutes. So you see it and go read about it. If you have questions, we will discuss. So you understand this thing now. I think this quote is now being discussed.
Yeah,
So now I
indeed.
think we can. Now I think we can discuss. Read the explanation. The idea of raising to the bride. You read it for me.
Yes. The idea of rising to bright regions.
Atal, sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay. The idea of rising to bright regions as a reward for well-doers and of falling into realms of darkness as a punishment for evildoers is common to all great religions. But Vedanta claims that this condition of heaven and hell is only temporary, because our actions, being finite, can produce only a finite result. I continue.
Okay. So here you are saying the idea of raising to the bride. What do you understand from this thing?
Um, he's trying. This idea in the Upanishad is the same as many religions, where the person will give to the righteous and darkness and punishment.
So I will read it for you. Can you hear me, God?
Yes.
So the idea of raising to the bright region as reward for well-doers, of falling into the realms of darkness as a punishment for evildoers is common to all great religions. This is the very obvious line. But Vedanta means Upanishad. The Upanishad claims that this condition of heaven and hell is only temporary. It's a good line. I also said the state is temporary. You are not reached to your right destination. You are itself in the path. So the state, the condition of heaven and hell is only temporary because our actions being finite can produce only a finite result. That's a good line. Mark this line.
And they will
What
continue. What does it mean to kill the self? How can the immortal soul ever be destroyed? It cannot be destroyed. It can only be obscured.
what is obscure?
Obscured is like covered or hidden.
Okay.
Those who hold themselves under this way of ignorance, who serve the flesh, and neglect the Atman, or the real self, are not able to perceive the effulgent and indestructible nature of the soul. Hence they fall into the realm where the soul light does not shine. Here the Upanishad shows that the only hell is absence of knowledge. So let's discuss this idea.
So what does it mean to kill the self? How can immortal soul ever be destroyed? It cannot be destroyed. It can only be obscured. Those who hold themselves under the sway of ignorance, who serve the flesh and neglect the Aman or real self, Atman. Atman means the soul or the
Mm-hmm.
real self are not able to. Atman is not soul, it's the one who bear the soul is Atman. Atma means soul, Atman means who bears the soul. Atman of real self are not able to perceive the effulgent and indestructible nature of their soul. Hence, they fall into the realm where the soul light does not shine. Here, Upanishad shows the only hell is absence of knowledge. As long as man is overpowered
Mm-hmm.
by the darkness or ignorance, he is slave of nature and must accept whatever comes as a fruit of his thoughts and deeds. When he stays in the path of unreality, and sages declare that he destroys himself because he who clings to the perishable body and regard. I am stopping for 2 minutes because this dog is barking.
Yeah, it will be hard to hear over the noise of the
So, who clings to the perishable body and regards it as his true self must experience death many times. This is what they are saying, and I think they are kind of right to their judgment. But if you ask me if I believe into this thing or not, that is another story. I don't believe those idea of soul being destructible, soul being non-destructible. For me, neither soul exists, not body exists. Whatever existing is you are saying. I do not saying there is something exotic beyond you. I'm saying if there is something exotic beyond you, that is not you. You are evolving. You have remembered the example I have taken, the seed and the fruit. If you take, you can see the journey of seed as in fruit, but you cannot equate. You will not equate. The seed and fruit are not same. The seed evolved to the fruit.
yes.
Either this body evolved to the soul, that I agree. But if you see this soul and this body living together, oh no, I don't agree. The fruit and the
Is the
seed. When there was seed, there was no fruit. When there was fruit, there was the seed inside it. That is
that
so
is the result.
when you become soul, you will have an idea of you what you were in the past. That is good because the fruit comes out of the seed, and essentially inside a fruit you will see the seed. But inside a seed, you will not see the fruit.
Right.
So here, the fruit is the soul, the seed is the body.
And the
When you
fruit
will evolve it to your soul, you will remember how many bodies you have taken. But when you are seed, you are not soul. If you are soul, then
you would be aware.
you will be aware. Then there is no notion for identifying yourself as an seed because you know from where you have evolved. Like you will never come to your dad and say, "Come on, you are my dad. You are my." You know, he knows. There is no point of argument and discussion. You are an extended DNA of his DNA. So there is no need. Things which are obvious to you, you won't repeat them.
Yes.
So
And
that is
then
my idea. I though these lines are correct, though these thoughts are correct, have correct line and length. However, they lacks the potential to justify the real questions. If I ask him what was the first cause which make me to come in this body, if I was happy already because you say I have a soul and my soul is much better when I perish this body. So what is the need of getting in this body and making my life miserable? Why we are in the loop of birth and death? Even Buddha cannot answer this thing. And Buddha cannot answer this thing means he don't want to answer this thing. Because if you have a certain thought of a school, you cannot answer those things. Like if you are a student of history, you cannot answer the questions of science. So for them, if you are asking him this question, he has not knowledge about this thing, about the idea of birth and death, why we are in the idea of birth and death. He first assumed that he is discussing, this was his postulate. You are in the idea of death and birth. Thereafter his knowledge started. Thereafter his philosophy started. Thereafter his thinking started. So first that was the ground for him. Now, if you start questioning the basic one of his basic definition, then whatever the knowledge he is saying, he may it may become baseless.
Will become baseless.
So for me, I do not have any base. Everything is everything comes to me. I do not accept it. I will observe it. I will test it to my whatever it is. So this is the thing. So if go to any Hindu Brahmin or any Hindu scripture or any Hindu thinker, ask him why there is a notion of death and birth. Why you are in the body. He will say because of your wrong deeds you are in this body. Ask him what is the wrong deed I have done the first time that I got into this body. He will never able to answer
Mm-hmm.
because they are because their basics are different. They have chosen this loop as their basis for answering those things. If you are challenging their basis, they are not able to answer those questions.
This is the flaw that we identify.
Why there is the flaw? Because whatever the idea they conceive is from someone
Mm-hmm.
that was not natural. Even my not idea of not body, not soul, the temporary state, maybe in coming years I will reject it. I will discover something here. So I keep myself contradicting. So I will discover new things. The thing I am saying it now might be correct, current, 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 my current mental conditioning. But after some time, I will discover new things. I will reject this hypothesis. I will not cling to this thing. If I, if I observe or if I experience something which is better than this, what I'm saying, said by me or said by other person or said by you, I will accept it. Then I will question you. I leave nowhere, no one. I spare no one to my questions. I ask questions to myself only, to myself also. If I am not sparing myself from question, how can I spare you from questions? So this is for today, and yeah, I am stopping. This stops here now, and we will discuss the other thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we had a good discussion and we gave some examples.